Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we are going to tackle a topic that shows up on practically every competitive exam, simple interest. And I'm going to show you some incredible tricks that will help you absolutely ace these questions. Okay, let's dive right in. We're going to learn some seriously effective, time-saving tricks for those simple interest problems that pop up all the time. You know, the ones in exams like SSC, bank, and railways. These techniques are designed to save you precious seconds. So let me ask you this. Do you ever feel like simple interest questions are a bit of a trap? I mean, they look so easy on the surface, but when you're racing against the clock in an exam, they can be a total time sink, right? Well, don't you worry. After this, you'll be solving these in just a few seconds.
So before we jump into the really cool tricks, let's do a super quick refresh of the basics. You know, having a strong foundation is absolutely key to making these shortcuts work for you.
It all really boils down to three key things, right? You've got P, that's your principal, which is just the starting amount of money. Then there's R, the rate, the percentage. And finally, T for time, which is simply the duration. Pretty straightforward. And this is the golden formula I'm sure everyone knows by heart. Simple interest is just principal times rate times time, all divided by 100. Now, we're going to use this very simple idea as a launchpad for our amazing time-saving tricks. All right, let's get into our first common pattern. This is a classic exam question you will definitely see. It's the one where a big chunk of money is split into two parts, and the simple interest earned from both parts is exactly the same. And here is the magic shortcut for it. Seriously, you're going to want to write this one down. Whenever the simple interest is equal for two parts, the ratio of the principals, P1 to P2, is just the inverse of their rate times time. So it's 1 over R1T1 is to 1 over RT2. This little trick saves you from a world of messy calculations.
Now, theory is great, but let's see this trick in action with a real problem. Here it is. A man splits 36,000 rupees into two parts. The interest on the first part, at 12% for 3 years, is the same as the interest on the second part at 16% for 4.5 years. Our job is to find the smaller of the two parts.
Okay, how do we tackle this? It's a simple step-by-step process. First, let's get the product of R1 and T1. That's just 12 times 3, which is 36. Easy. For the second part, R2 times T2 is 16 times 4.5, which is 72. So our ratio for the principals is 1 over 36 is to 1 over 72. And if we simplify that, we get a nice, clean ratio of 2 is to 1. Now all we have to do is split 36,000 using that ratio. So dividing 36,000 in a 2-to-1 ratio gives us two amounts, 24,000 and 12,000. And the question asks for the smaller part, which is clearly 12,000 rupees. See how fast that was? Using that ratio trick is an absolute game changer. All right, ready for pattern number 2? This one is a huge deal. You see it all the time on exams. This is the scenario where a sum of money doubles or triples or becomes n times its original value over a certain period of time. And guess what? There's a super slick formula for this one too. The rate, R, is simply n minus 1 divided by the time, T, and then you just multiply the whole thing by 100. And that n is just how many times the money multiplied. So if it doubles, n is 2. If it trickles, n is 3. So simple. Let's put it to the test with an example. A sum of 8,000 rupees grows to 12,000 rupees in 4 years. We need to figure out the annual rate of interest. Now, think about it. 12,000 is 1.5 times 8,000. So our n here is 1.5. So we could do this the old-fashioned way first, just to prove the concept. The final amount is 12,000. The principal is 8,000. So what's the interest? It's the difference, right? 4,000 rupees. Now we can just plug these numbers into our good old golden formula. 4,000 equals 8,000 times R times 4, all divided by 100. Okay, now it's just a bit of number crunching. We can cancel out the zeros. On the right side, 80 times 4 gives us 320. So R is just 4,000 divided by 320. And when you simplify that fraction, you'll find that R works out to be 25 over 2. And what's 25 divided by 2? You got it, 12.5%. But wait, let's try our shortcut, remember? R equals n minus 1 over T times 100. So that's 1.5 minus 1, which is 0.5, divided by 4 times 100. And that also gives us 12.5%. Perfect. Same answer, but way faster. Okay, let's power through to our third and final pattern for today. This one is also super important. It deals with what happens when the interest rate changes and how that affects the total interest you earn.
The secret to this one is actually incredibly simple. You don't need to worry about the original rate at all. The extra interest you get is purely because of the extra rate. So we use the same PRT formula, but for R, we only plug in the extra rate percentage.
Let's see this logic trick in action. The problem says a sum is invested for 3 years. If the rate was 8% higher, the interest would have been 1,440 rupees more. We need to find the principal. Okay, so the extra interest is 1440. The extra rate is 8%. The time is 3 years. Let's plug them into our rearranged formula. P equals 1440 times 100 divided by 8 times 3.
So on the bottom, we have 8 times 3, that's 24. And 1440 divided by 24 is 60. A little quick math, 60 times 100, and boom, our principal is 6,000 rupees. Just like that, we got the answer directly without any complicated steps. That's the power of focusing only on the change. All right, listen up, because this next slide is the one you've been waiting for. We're going to recap everything we've learned. I'd highly recommend taking a screenshot of this one for your study notes. So to wrap it all up, we've covered 3 absolute game-changing tricks today. For those amount division problems, we use the inverse ratio. When a sum becomes n times bigger, we have that quick formula for the rate. And for rate change problems, we just focus on the extra interest. Go ahead, pause here, and grab that screenshot. But remember, these tricks are like a muscle. The more you practice them, the stronger and faster you'll get. With these tools in your arsenal, you are definitely one big step closer to hitting your goal. So keep that confidence up. Hey, if this helped you out at all, it would mean the world if you'd hit that like button, share it with a friend who might need it, and of course, subscribe for more tips and tricks. And definitely let me know in the comments if there's a special topic you want me to break down next. Thanks for watching.